Hi, back again, and this time it's kind of like a list video, but it's not really a list video because I'm only talking about one house, and that house is Armaf. And little known fact about me, I'm probably an Armaf expert. I don't really talk about them very much because I don't want to talk about them very much, so I'm going to say this right up front. This is going to be the last, probably the last video that I put out ever talking about Armaf and Armaf fragrances, because I think I've smelled the best of what they have to offer, and I'm done with them pretty much. Yeah, I'm not hating on them or anything like that. I love what they've had to offer, and as an alternative to way more expensive fragrances, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. My wallet appreciates that as well. In order to show that appreciation, I'm going to give you the breakdown on the only 4 Armaf fragrances that you should buy, because they have quite a few, and they do try to clone a fair amount of different fragrances, and they also try to make their own kind of fragrances as well. But only 4 that I think deserve your money if you are going to buy an Armaf fragrance are the following ones that I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to go in chronological order from the time that I discovered the Armaf house. And the first one that we all know and love, and I don't care what you think, is this one. This is Club de Nuit Intense. Man, and my little chain has been broken. This is the first time that's happened, and it happened on bottle number 5, I think. So this is my 5th bottle of this fragrance, because I wore it as a signature scent for a while, and so did my wife. She really loved this scent profile. And the funny thing about this, we all know it's an Aventus clone. We know it's a Creed Aventus clone, but we all know Creed Aventus doesn't smell the same all the time. It's a thing. I know. This does smell the same all the time, in that it does smell like detergent or floor cleaner. Lemon Pledge, I think, is what people refer to it as. And even though we don't have Lemon Pledge here, I know what floor cleaner and detergent sort of smell like. It does smell like that. So if you spray this on, wait about half an hour before you leave the house. But then when you do leave the house, and the mids come in and the dry down starts to come in after an hour or so, you're gonna get magic. And I mean that. It's synthetic. It's not that super clear or clean. It's a bit muddied as well if you compare it to Aventus. But in the air, in the sillage, with the projection, who the fuck is gonna notice? Who? Not the people that you care about, not the people that you're trying to impress anyway. And they're not gonna know. And I don't really care. When I've been asked, and I did get asked quite a few times when I was wearing this, what are you wearing? And I'd say, I'm wearing this thing called Club de Nuit Intense Man. It's a clone of a more expensive fragrance. And I was kind of like, yeah, I didn't pay $500 for a bottle of fragrance. I paid like 40 or 50, whatever this goes for. But honestly, I think I'm well done with this particular scent profile. Now, I know I'm going to get some comments saying, you know, oh, this guy's never smelled Aventus, all that kind of thing. Yeah, you're free to think that if you want to. But if you think that someone that, you know, have a look through my video library, my friends. Have a look through. I don't have Aventus because I chose not to buy it. Not that I haven't tried it, not that I haven't worn it, not that I haven't had decants of different batches. I just chose not to buy it because I don't want to take a chance on a variation, number 1. And number 2, pay through the nose for the batch that I do want, which are going for like $800-900 a bottle now. Not even 500. It's sometimes over 1,000. So to have something that kind of smells similar in the air, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's $50. How can you go wrong? But after about 5 bottles, I've had enough of the scent profile, and I've honestly had enough of smelling Aventus as well, so I don't really care. This is my last bottle of this, but if you are getting into the house of Armaf, this is a must. You have to have this. If you're looking at Armaf, you're looking at different Armafs, Club de Nuit Intense Man, you must buy it. That's the one that you have to have before you have anything else from this house. Now, the next fragrance that I picked up from Armaf was this one right here. This is called Nuit by Armaf. Who else? We're talking about only Armaf here, so that was a silly thing to say. But this is Nuit, which is which means very night in French. So I don't know what the fuck that means, but this is the clone of Creed, another Creed. They're all Creed clones, the ones that I'm talking about today. This is a clone of Green Irish Tweed. Now, I've smelled Green Irish Tweed. I've smelled vintage Green Irish Tweed and the new Green Irish Tweed, I guess the current formulation of it. Green Irish Tweed has always been well done. It's very well done. I just don't like the scent all that much. So when you have something that is a bit more synthetic and is a little bit sweeter, it spoke to my sensibilities and I thought, ooh, I kind of like this one. And I kind of like this one better than that one. Is that a bad thing to say? Am I unrefined by saying something like that? Of course not. That's my taste. That's what I wanted to wear. I had the choice to purchase Green Irish Tweed. I chose not to. I chose to purchase this instead. And it's not because I couldn't afford it. I can afford it. I can afford all of Creed, but I didn't want it. I didn't want it and I wanted this. So if you're looking at Green Irish Tweed and you're looking at, well, yes, look, it's another Creed. It's another $400-500 for a bottle. And this is around 20 or 30, I think, dollars a bottle. It's a bit laughable, but it's fairly similar and it's nothing like Cool Water, which I despise. And it's wearable and I finished it. It's finished. And I only got one bottle and it's finished. And I didn't repurchase. I thought I would, but I didn't, because by the time I got to the end of it, I was like, yeah, kind of had enough of this scent profile as well. I want something a little bit more challenging, and I've moved on from such a sort of easy wearing, easy going kind of scent. It's really nice, don't get me wrong, but I've moved on. But again, this was the second one that I picked up from the House of Armaf, and definitely one that gets a tick of approval from me in the terms of how it smells, how it projects, and its longevity. I can't speak to quality because none of these scents are high quality. They're just synthetic representations of higher quality scents, which is what this is. Okay, Green Irish Tweed, much nicer, of course, much more smoother. Actually, it's a lot more woodier, it's a lot more drier, it's a lot less sweet than this is. But again, it didn't appeal to my taste, so I went with Nuit. And I recommend that you give it a try if you're looking at purchasing one of the plethora of offerings from Armaf. Oh, I would take a sip of coffee, but a fly just landed in there. Okay, moving on. All right, the third one that I picked up from, I guess in chronological order, from Armaf is this one right here. This is Armaf's Sillage. So reflective. Look at this. I'm gonna do this. Okay, Club de Nuit Sillage. That's I should say. And this is supposed to be the clone of Silver Mountain Water, another Creed clone. I'm gonna put this down because it's stupid reflective. It's the Silver Mountain Water clone. Do I like it? I thought I would, but I did not. And you may be thinking, oh, well, you didn't like it, but your bottle is empty. Yes, it's empty. My wife loved it. So she made this her signature scent and the bottle is finished. I think I wore it a handful of times, but this has a ton of ambroxan in it. That's why it projects and lasts so much better than Silver Mountain Water does, because it's got a ton of that chemical in it. Ambroxan, I know, does not work with my nose, on my skin. It just doesn't smell great to me at all. This is why I don't like Sauvage at all, because it's got a ton of ambroxan in it as well. And this is why I didn't like this one. I think that Silver Mountain Water smells better, yes. It's got performance issues, yes, it does for a fragrance like that. I would really like to smell it a little bit longer than a couple of hours. Every time I've sort of worn that, it's just not that great. I haven't tested any vintages or anything like that. I don't know if it always was like that, but this one lasted the distance, projected well, and actually gets noticed. You know, it gets noticed because it's a little bit attention grabbing, this kind of scent. It's kind of almost like it invades your nostrils. To me, not in a great way because ambroxan, but some people really enjoy ambroxan and it works on their skin. You will get compliments on this if that's what you're looking for. That's not what I'm looking for, so I don't want to wear this and I don't like wearing this. But again, it's one that's done really, really, really well in terms of what they were trying to achieve by cloning Silver Mountain Water. So recommended. That this is the third recommendation out of 4 that I am recommending. Maybe out of 4, out of 5, maybe. I'll do 5. Okay, out of 5. So yeah, again, if you're looking at Armaf, this is one that has my tick of approval, so that if you do actually end up grabbing it, you shouldn't be disappointed. That's what I'm saying. Now, the next one that I purchased in chronological order was Club de Nuit Intense Woman. And the bottle, again, is black, but the actual cap and this round thingy here are gold. I don't have it because it is a rose heavy scent, and it's kind of like a jammy rose, and it's supposed to be a clone of Tom Ford's Noir de Noir, or I like to call it Noir de Noir. So it's supposed to be a clone of that. I don't like Noir de Noir. I don't like Club de Nuit Intense Woman. I thought I did. I tried it again. And one day I was wearing it and my mum was like, that smells really great. I'm like, you can have the bottle. And so she does. So it's hers now. And that's why I don't have it to show you. So she's got it. She enjoys it. And she told me that when she was out, there's been a few people that's been asking her what she's wearing as well. So if you are looking for a rose heavy scent that's a take on Noir de Noir, or I guess in a higher sort of reinterpretation of Noir de Noir, if you look at something like Boadicea the Victorious's Ardent, that's another one, which I don't think they were trying to clone. They were just trying to clone the Tom Ford scent. And I think they did a pretty good job. I think they did a pretty bang on job. It's just that they're both equally as disgusting to me because of the heavy, jammy rose forwardness of it. And I think it suits an old woman instead of me. So that's why I gave it to my mum. She's an old woman. And the last one, number 5 in Armaf Fragrances that I would actually recommend if you are looking for Armaf Fragrances, if you're looking to get into Armaf Fragrances, is this one right here. This is Club de Nuit Intense Milestone. And this took me a while to get because it just wasn't available here. And then it ended up reaching our shores, and so I grabbed a bottle. It was underwhelming to say the least when I tried it out. Did it remind me of Millésime Impérial, which is what it's trying to clone? It's another super reflective bottle, so I'm putting it down. Did it remind me of Millésime Impérial from Creed? Kind of. It reminded me of, like I said in my second impressions video that I did of it, it reminded me of the current formulation of Millésime Impérial, but it definitely does not remind me of the original 90s formulation of Millésime Impérial, of which I have fond memories smelling. So given that, and given like its saltiness again, and I think again it's got a ton of ambroxan in it, and I've heard so much people say that you do need to give it time, you do need to let it mature, and so I think sprayed quite a bit of it. I think maybe 30 mils of this 100 mil, 105 mil bottle are gone, and therefore this summer, when it's weather appropriate, I will rewear it. I will give it another chance to see if it's something that I like and to see if it's something that I'll actually end up wearing ever. If it's not, then this will just go somewhere away from me. But if it is, then yeah, I might put it on a summer rotation this year and see how I go with it. But yeah, that's it. That's the last one of the 5. It is Armaf to people that are trying to get into the house, that are thinking everybody talks about this, everybody talks about that, but which are the ones that you really actually need from the house, that have actually done a good job in terms of cloning and in terms of smelling nice? It's these 4. Plus, if you like rose, then you can do the woman one as well. So there you go. That has been my PSA for the House of Armaf. And yeah, I don't think I'll be mentioning these again. Maybe I'll mention the milestone for a summer rotation list or something like that, and then come back to it and see whether or not it has actually opened up or not. But that would probably be it for me in terms of mentioning Armaf. I got no affiliations with them, so I don't really need to be talking about their products. In terms of clone houses, my opinion on that hasn't really changed, in that they fill a gap in the market that people see value in, and that's why they purchase their products. And that's why their products are popular, and you'll see them in cheapies lists, and you'll see people promoting them. Like for example, if any of these Armafs were, let's say, even a little bit more expensive than they are now, and if Creed was at the original Creed prices that Creed was never this expensive. They used to be a lot more affordable than they are now. And one might argue that they used to have much better quality control and much better representation of the scent that they're trying to put in a bottle than they do now. If that was the case, then I don't think Armaf would be as popular as it is now. So the fact that that's happened, as in, you know, Creed's become more expensive, and the words on the street are that they have actually lost quite a bit of quality, that opens up a gap. It opens up a gap for a house like Armaf to step in and start doing these things. Same thing with Tom Ford. It's just sad, really, isn't it? But that's just state of the affairs. So that's what we have right now. And so if anyone's looking to smell like any of these popular scents from niche houses that Armaf have cloned, these are the 5 that I recommend. These are the 5 that they've done better than any others that I've actually smelled, which I have not purchased, by the way. So there you have it. That's the list. And as always, thanks for watching.
Roja.